Friends, so CAT 2016 notification is out today morning. How are you guys feeling? So first let's look at the facts. This year CAT 2016 will be conducted on Sunday 4th of December. It will be in two slots, morning and afternoon. The form filling will begin from August of 8 and it will be continued till 22nd of September. Now let's look at the surprises. What surprises this year CAT has thrown up as always. So one of the biggest surprise is that there is no surprise at all. Probably in the history of CAT, probably it is happening for the first time that the pattern is remaining exactly the same. Same as the last year 2015 CAT. So for new takers, what is it? There are three sections. The first section is verbal section. The second is DILR section and the third is quant section. Each section will have 1 hour. You can't go from one section to other. You can't come back to the earlier section the moment your time is over. So that is one very important thing. There will be 34 questions in the verbal section and the quant section, and there will be 32 questions in the DILR section. So making it a total of 100 questions. You get +3 for the correct answer and you get -1 for the wrong answer. I am talking of for the questions which have got multiple answer options with them. Only one of them is correct. There are some questions which are 10 and 10 in number in verbal and quant, and there are 8 questions in DI which are non-MCQ questions. So non-MCQ means there will be fill in the blank kind of a scenario and you have to type in the correct answer. So these questions do not attract any negative marking. So if you do it correct, you get +3. If you do it wrong or even if you don't attempt it, you get 0 for them. So in other words, you must attempt the non-MCQ questions because there is no risk of losing any marks. So as we all gave CAT 2015, as you all are aware, I take CAT every year just to have a feel of the paper and everything. I can tell you that the difficulty level was from easy to medium. There were only 2-3 questions which were classified as a very tough questions. So in other words, it's all about choosing the easy and the little easy to medium tough kind of questions. Why? Because the time is 1 hour per section. It is not a race against the number of questions, but it is a race against time. Because everyone will be having that same time for each section. I would recommend all of you to watch the video which we published last year because the strategies would more or less remain the same, though I am covering them majorly out here again. The point is, if I have more time, or let's say if I have been given the total 3 hours and I can do whatever in all the 3 sections, there would be people who would probably give more time to quant section if they are strong at. There would be people who might give more time to the verbal section if they are strong there. And therefore, the cutoff in that particular section would have probably increased tremendously. But now, since the time allotted is same to each and every person, the people do not have this kind of liberty. And therefore, my dear friends, it all boils down to a good question selection. Giving or telling by a lot of taking mocks and even by last year CAT, by experience I can tell you that anything around 25 is a very good number of attempts with 90% of accuracy, of course. That's a great decent attempt for getting a 98.5 plus or 99 percentile in each section. So you must target that kind of attempts. But again, looking at the last year's DI paper, I myself took the last year's CAT exam as always. I can tell you that even if anyone attempt around 18 to 20 or 17 to 19 in DI, probably with 90% of accuracy, would have fetched 98 percentile or 98.5 percentile. So it obviously depends on the toughness level of the paper, but generally I think around 25, 23 to 25 is a great kind of attempts with 85 to 90% of accuracy which you can target. So one more factual thing is online calculator. They have allowed online calculator like last year. Now telling my experience, this is a very cumbersome kind of process because there is one click for every kind of character, and therefore it actually took long time for calculation. And if you are actually committing a mistake by probably clicking on some other number which is probably not required, then entire answer goes wrong. So therefore I sincerely recommend lot of practice, lot of mock tests in the coming 4 months time. so that probably you can understand how the online calculator works and whether it's a good idea to probably approximate and using the calculations in mind rather than probably typing out every character in the online calculator part. So these are some of the salient features of the CAT exam, CAT 2016. I am sure you will probably work hard keeping these in mind and keeping the strategies in place. I sincerely recommend to you to take a lot of mock tests again and again. If you feel that instead of 3 hours at a stretch, probably a good idea is to take some sectional tests as well, apart from the mock test. Because then you will get the idea of that complete individual section, how to work on that, how to choose questions, and then taking it forward from there. Again, the more important part is the analysis of the test. I am sure most of you will probably take the mock test, but very few actually give the time for analysis, and that's where I think the people make a blunder. I sincerely recommend if you solve one test of 3 hours, the analysis should not be less than 3 hours per test. The same number of time probably the test is. And by analysis I don't mean just looking at the correct answer of those questions. By analysis I mean you should be able to pinpoint why did you mark C in this particular question? What was going on in your head? Or rather, why did you leave this question probably after spending 8 to 10 minutes and then you realize no, I am not getting the answer, let's leave it. And later you realize what probably you were supposed to mark was actually the correct answer. So you must probably try and get to those final points, and then you will not commit the same error which you have committed in the past mock test. So I think I am done for it. Thank you so very much. Please watch my last year's video as well, and I am open for any kind of comments and emails, as probably I have been already overwhelmed by your response so far. Thank you, friends.